You got a problem to fix and you want to get it done. Call Robert Gibb and Sons.
Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you. We do have some severe weather work that gets way in, but first, Robert Gibb and Sons. Did you know that they can add a battery backup to your sump pump? You get Wi-Fi notifications that the sump pump is working, or if there's an issue, call Robert Gibb and Sons today. Tell them Hutch sent you. Let's talk weather.
Call Robert Gibb and Sons.
All right, we have a brand new severe thunderstorm watch that's been issued by our friends at the National Weather Service in Fargo, also in Aberdeen, South Dakota. Let's go over the details on that. We'll talk about storms heading towards Fargo and severe windy storms heading into southern Richland County. It's all happening right now as we cross toward the midday hour. Check this out. Showers and thunderstorms lining up in the eastern Dakotas. Generally, these cells up here moving northeasterly. These are moving east-northeasterly at this particular time. Not everybody is going to see a severe thunderstorm, but there are some very strong ones out there. Now, Valley City has seen storms pass through. The risk is almost done with your area for now. As we go into the afternoon and evening hours, more storms are expected to fire out here in the Missouri River Valley and head east. I'm going to go over all of it, but first let's talk about this watch that's been issued. That's the new update. Fargo is included in the watch. Grand Forks is not included in the watch. We do have the Highway 200 corridor included in the watch because a couple of thunderstorms are starting to form there. How long is the watch in effect for? What does a watch mean? A watch is issued when the ingredients are there to make severe thunderstorms. We have heat, we have humid air. Those are the two main ingredients to get the rising air. If storms form, they're going to be capable of some pretty ridiculous hail size and gusty wind tonight. Those will be the two main threats, but we cannot rule out an isolated tornado. This is in effect for the next 6.5 hours. Will it affect your plans tonight? Well, for some of us, it will. Keep yourself informed is the best advice Hutch can give you. If storms approach your area, just go to hutchesweather.com, lock into your location, make sure you allow hutchesweather.com to track your location. It'll tell you if it's severe or not. Okay, first thing to know, right now the watch is in effect until 7 o'clock. Gusts to 80 miles per hour. Look at this, likely. It doesn't say maybe, but they're likely. We don't use that term all the time. Hail, 2.5 inches in diameter, that's headache, hail. And a tornado or two, not out of the question. Best chance for tornadoes will be with these early onset storms this afternoon, and then more firing out near Pier, I think, could really be the main event. Now, the gusty winds moving through the area will continue through tonight. Again, the watch is in effect until 7 o'clock tonight, Central Daylight Time. So that's the details on the watch. Let's get right in on the warnings right now. New warning has been issued down here in South Dakota. These storms have bowed and headed out through Sisseton now and are pushing into the Lake Traverse area. See the backwards C shape we're getting on a couple of these cells? These little bubbles that you see kind of perching or lurching out are in the general direction that the wind is blowing. So you can expect a west-southwest wind from these storms heading Sisseton and points north. These storms are backwards C-shaped in this direction. If you are in Hankinson now, storms are moving into your area. Here's what they look like. The Department of Transportation cameras, mainly for roads, I might add and remind you. That's why we don't get a direct look at every cloud with these storms. But we do have a camera right here at that Hankinson area. Let's take a look. This is at the state line. This is basically looking outdoors. We do have that darker sky showing up over there to the left of that farmstead. Now, as we take a look, there's looking north. Not so bad right there. And this is a different look to the south. On the right side here, that's those dark clouds that are entering the I-29 corridor as we speak. So it's mainly south of the state line with this particular view, but make no mistake about it, those storms are heading in the general direction of the state line. I do have another camera just north of that. Let's see if that gives us, oh my, yeah. Do you want to see these low-looking, those are called scud. They're scary-looking clouds. I like to call them SLCs, SLC, scary-looking clouds. They're not attached to the thunderstorm base up above. See that? Those are called either scud or scary-looking clouds. They can spin and rotate. But what this shows is an incredible, quick condensation of the moist air. So these clouds are scraping the top of the trees. They're very, very low. And this is what we would call a surface-based storm. Look at the edge of that system right there. That is a tower of power supercell storm heading right there. This is at the Lake Agassiz camera view on I-29. And there is going to be some mean wind potential from that severe line of storms. It's moving through Lidgerwood right now. It's moving into Hankinson right now. Wow, what a view from the DOT camera there. Here's what we can see as we look a little bit closer to southern parts of the Clay and Cass County area here. Some storms in the general direction of Castleton. Here's what those look like. Do you see that? Do you see that little roll cloud rolling out in front of the storm? Well, that's from the gusty winds pushing out, and it's creating this roll cloud, and that is on its way. So that's an incredible view there in the western parts of Cass County, what's heading in the general direction of Fargo. Let's go over the warnings real quickly here on the radar. I want to review your questions and see if there are any. Thanks, Brenda, for watching. Pretty dark southwest Kindred area. And is Richland County still included in the warning? Yes, the southernmost part of Richland County is in a warning. Here's what's heading towards Fargo. We have strong thunderstorms here in the FM area, heading towards the Fargo area. The blue box means these are strong storms, but not quite severe. They're flirting with severe levels. They're going to create hail in spots, wind gusts to around 50, maybe 55 miles per hour. But these thunderstorms down here with the backward C shape, the yellow boxes here, the orange boxes flashing, severe thunderstorm warning. So the southwestern quadrant, to answer your question, of Richland County is included in the warning. Notice the storm is blowing toward the right edge of that. There will likely be possibly an update from the Weather Service shortly. These thunderstorms are going to be capable of some pretty strong winds. I've been showing radar data from Aberdeen, and we're going to look at that right now and see how fast the wind is measuring by the Doppler radar. It can measure the wind blowing straight away from the radar. It can't measure winds that are blowing across the radar beam. So the radar beam is coming from here. It's shooting out in this direction. This wind is blowing out in that direction. We're going to get a very good measurement at cloud level, not at the ground, of how fast the winds are. Do you see these bright yellows and oranges? Let me show you what these wind speeds are in this cloud. They go from 4 or 5 miles per hour on up, 70, up, 85, 90 mile per hour. I clocked 106. The Doppler radar clocked 106 miles per hour from this storm. It's heading towards portions of southern Richland County and the Wheaton area, northern Roberts County, South Dakota here, east of Sisseton, heading right into Wheaton. Do you see this backward C shape heading into Wheaton? That is one nasty, blowy storm. That's going to cause some significant wind damage potential in places and at cloud level. Not on the ground, but at cloud level, right now, the Doppler radar is measuring wind gusts over 80 miles per hour heading towards Wheaton. Now, that doesn't mean everybody on the ground is going to get an 80 mile per hour gust, but in isolated places, did you see that? It said 85, right over the county line, moving over the River Valley and Lake Traverse right now. Wow! Browns Valley, all of these winds extremely strong heading towards Dumont and Wheaton as we speak. So very gusty straight line winds is what you need to prepare for. There is some green and red immediately next to each other in that spot. There could be some spin in these storms as well. Hi, Lynn. Good to have you. Will WeFest get hit? A lot of loved ones out there. Tell you what, WeFest going on at the Lakes Country, the strongest of the storm. You're in a thunderstorm watch. So if any thunderstorms make it out to Sioux Pass Ranch, then yes, you're going to want to be prepared for some thunderstorms that could be windy. All right, looks like I got a new warning to update you on. Oh, look at the hail in this one. This one's for this storm out here in the Millbank area. This one is rotating pretty strongly right here. I will say that just because I'm looking at greens and reds, it looks like Christmas trees over here. Okay, there is a little spin in this storm, and this one capable of 2-inch diameter hail right in this pocket right here. So this storm capable of very large hail, gusty winds. Let's see what the Weather Service is saying. Ping pong balls and 60 mile per hour wind gusts is what that storm is expected to produce. All right, so there is the latest warning. Oh, new warning as well. Remember how I told you it's just moving into Wheaton? If you're in Wheaton, prepare for very, very strong winds. Let me see what the Weather Service is saying with regards to this. EM from Roberts County Emergency Management saying that they're now, sounds like debris going through windows in Clare City. 12:30 was the time of that report. Windows are being broken out in Clare City, South Dakota, from debris. There it is. This is on the backside of the storm. This is a very windy storm. Hutch was telling you about these winds that are right over you now. This is what's heading towards Wheaton. This is what's heading towards Hankinson. There is a spin up that could be possibly making its way into southern Richland County, Hankinson, Fairmount right now. It's not real organized and it's not persisting for every scan that we're seeing here. But along the leading edge of some of these very gusty winds, there is some spin showing up in the cloud. Not unusual, and these storms can sometimes produce brief tornadoes or strong tornadoes. But I am most concerned about Wheaton right now and this entire area. Veblen, if you're in Veblen, if you are in Rossholt right now, this is a very nasty wind-producing storm. This could flatten your wheat fields. This could take everything off your deck and blow it over. And if you're on the I-29 corridor or know anybody driving along this path, these winds will be punching out of the west. So that's a crosswind for high-profile vehicles at over 80 miles per hour possible in isolated places, mind you. That could be the case. We do have some flooding reported in the Britton, South Dakota area from the emergency managers there. Thank you very much for passing that along. And a measured wind station at the ground approaching 70 miles per hour at Roy Lake State Park. That was closer to the midday hour. Looking in on what feedback I'm getting from my friends at the National Weather Service office here in Grand Forks. Okay, let's see here. Boom. Okay. There we go. Okay. There is clarification. It's Richland and Sargent County. So I was right. The text on the Weather Service's warning said Ransom County. It's Sargent, the southern county right here. Sargent County, severe thunderstorm warning. Southern Richland County, severe thunderstorm warning. Wind gusts are showing up from the Doppler radar in Aberdeen right here, where you see these yellows and orange. They're going to be blasting right across the county line anytime. These are not winds that are on the ground. These are winds that are aloft. But we just heard from the emergency manager here that there's windows being broken out by debris in Clare City. That is indication that some of this wind is making its way down to the ground. To clarify, this Doppler radar measurement of wind speed, see the crosshairs here? Let me move that closer to Clare City. Look at these wind amounts. The wind speeds here measured above the ground are over 80 miles per hour. Some of that, not all of that, some of that energy can mix down to the ground with the hail and the rain coming out of it, and we can get very damaging gusty winds. Veblen, it's moved through your area. The winds should be quieting down a pinch there soon. Clare City, we're getting reports right now that there's some problems. New Effington, that gust is working through you, and it's on the doorstep of Rossholt. It's on the doorstep of Wheaton. It looks like some of the stronger winds here in the orange colors near 80 miles per hour will be heading towards Dumont as we go through the next half hour. Very windy thunderstorms there. Now, I'm going to focus on Fargo for just a second because these storms are moving towards Fargo. You're not going to see good wind measurements here. Don't even ask Hutch about wind measurements because I can't give you wind estimates here. What I can tell you is these are windy thunderstorms because we do have the backward C shape, and that will be the main threat. As we look at the radar data with these storms, we're looking at hail cores in a few of these cells, particularly where we see the bright colors not far from Buffalo, not far from Castleton. These storms here are capable of hail up to 1 inch in diameter. That's Buffalo and Tower City. Now, just north of the interstate is where the hail core is. And that has been persistently pulsing up in intensity and coming back down. So you're going to have hailstones here and hailstones there, but not hailstones everywhere. I do see a backward C shape right here. That would indicate that we could have some pretty strong winds with this storm. But because the hail doesn't look as large, then the drag on the wind coming down toward the ground, not quite as strong. If you are in these areas, please report any damage to your local authorities. They'll pass that along to the National Weather Service. This is pushing into Castleton right now. This is not a severe thunderstorm warning, but gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour. And we could see some hail up to Nichols, maybe a little larger from a couple of these cells. One strong cell right here. Another one on the county line. So I just heard from one of you that said in Kindred, we have some pretty nasty looking clouds out there. Indeed, that's the case. I'm going to look on hutchesweather.com and see if I've got any more uploads of images here. I really do appreciate you. Yep, I've got one. Oh boy, we're going to take a look at this right now. Upload it. Oh, okay, we're going to upload this picture. I'm going to show it to you in real time. This was just uploaded by Tracy west of Enderlin. Tracy, thank you very much. Here comes your photo. Let's get that right up now. So this is what's coming into the Enderlin area. Now it's moving out of Enderlin. So this is just moments ago. Okay, we're going to take you to Hutch's Weather, and let's take a look at these photos that are being uploaded in real time. Boom. Okay, we'll put a little boom up there, a little shakalaka, and here's a look at the storm clouds. Remember, we were seeing this from the DOT cameras. Do you see the low clouds right here? Tracy Harlan from west of Enderlin. This is what was coming into the west side of town. Those little low scrapers out there, not necessarily tornadic, but they sure look mean. If they're rotating and they're low like that, they could be a wall cloud. So we have some low, mean, scary looking clouds out there. Tracy, I applaud you for taking the time to upload your photo. You can do the same. Go to Hutch's Weather at hutchesweather.com. At the top of the page, you just kind of scroll down from the top of the page and you're going to find the button on there. I guarantee you, my page doesn't have a lot of scrolling you have to do like some others. And you just click on that puppy right there. And then there's a little blue upload button in the right corner. That's all you do. You can do it right from your phone. You can do videos. And again, I appreciate everybody participating and letting us know ahead of the storm what's coming your way or what's coming our way. So let's talk a little bit about this radar data one more time, and let's talk about how far it is from Fargo as the crow flies. We do not have severe storms heading towards Fargo. Notice the direction of movement of these cells that are strong here, moving to northern Cass. There could, at times, be hail close to 1 inch in diameter briefly, and then it pulses down. That's moving to northern Cass. This cell down here looks like it's moving more to the east. Let's watch the radar loop and watch where it's going. The winds are going to carry these more in a little bit more of a northerly direction. Yeah, so there's storms that are just forming. See this? Look at all this junk out here. That stuff out there, that junk is thunderstorms that are just starting to form. So let me get a closer look at the Mayville radar. That's the Mayville radar. It's moving out of Valley City. We do have some hail in northern Cass moving toward the Castleton area. As the crow flies, let's stop this and show you that the storms are developing just now over. That looks like Maplewood, right? So if we measure how far it is from Fargo, those storms that are in Maplewood are only 15 miles away from Fargo. We had earlier said about 1 o'clock when they would hit. That's when they're going to hit, around 1 o'clock. Now, the main core, there could be a couple waves move through. These will skirt likely through West Fargo and North Fargo. These have a chance at pushing through the rest of Fargo-Moorhead. So yes, there's a chance of some early afternoon storms. Hail and gusty wind will be the main threat. These cells down to the south that are not far from, say, Kindred now, pushing in towards South Fargo, Horace, your area, and these are only 24 miles away, moving at 24 miles per hour. So some of those southern clouds won't get to the Fargo area, Sabin area, until we go through about the next 45 minutes or so. This cell on Highway 200 is nothing to hiccup at, right? Let's take a look at that puppy. That puppy is wagging his tail up here, and he's got some pink right over I-29. There could be a hail core forming right over Mayville. That doesn't mean there's hail reaching the ground. This is what the radar sees on the bottom side of the cloud. So there's some hail size potential with this cell, and it's moving east-northeast. It's moving at about the same pace as everything else. 25 to 30 miles per hour. Hillsborough, you have a storm that's going to skirt very close to you, but the heaviest should be on the north side of town. So if you are up here in Goodrich, Climax, Nilsville, on up towards Buxton, those storms will be heading in your general direction. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect. Fargo-Moorhead will be seeing storms shortly. West Fargo will see them first. Moorhead a little bit later. The gustiest winds are heading right through southern Richland County right now. If you are in Richland County, please be advised to prepare for very damaging and gusty straight line winds. These straight line winds could be 80 miles per hour. Jenny is sharing a photo right now. I mean, I don't know if I can do it any faster. Jenny, thank you for sharing this. photo taken in Hankinson. We're going to update the website. You can now see all these on the website, and you can see them right now on Hutch's Weather. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, and thanks for passing the good word that Hutch is here. I now have more platforms, not just Facebook. So if folks don't like Facebook, tell them to go to my website, hutchesweather.com. And that's where I'm taking you right now. And you can see the photos that were just uploaded. Let's check this one out. These are storms, and this is real-time coverage by you. You help cover the weather. Hankinson. This is what it looks like. Do you see that leading edge making its way through? Jenny, thank you. The leading edge of the storm making its way to Hankinson. This was uploaded at 12:45 or taken at 12:45. That's just moments ago. So you've got this backward C shape, right? Like we're seeing on the radar. And there's likely at the ground level somewhere underneath there some very terrible winds. See the lumpy bumpies on the bottom, these lumpy bumpy clouds, and this line, this gray, dark gray leading edge that looks like a boomerang up there. That's either a shelf cloud or a roll cloud. If it's attached to the thunderstorm, then it's called a shelf. If it's not attached, then it's called a roll. To me, it looks like a roll cloud rolling out ahead of the thunderstorm. So not the direct rain, that's just caused by the wind that's pushing out. And it's a terrible wind, and that wind could be as high as 70 or 80 miles per hour. New warning from the National Weather Service has just been issued. So let me go over the details on that. Thank you for your upload of your photos. Now let me check the National Weather Service, see if we've got any more wind measurements. I'm going to check another source for wind measurements in real time right now and see what I'm seeing. And if I see anything with current wind gusts at, let's go to peak gusts out here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to put this up. We do have some peak gusts in western Cass County that are getting pretty close to severe criteria just off the ground. They're pretty strong. Not necessarily severe, but let me show you what we got. And here we go. Boom. Shakalaka. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Okay. Hutch is pulling up a graphic just made for you by my friends at the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network. This is showing gusts, the peak gusts today at 33 feet off the ground. Where you see these red colors, western Cass, the measurement off the ground was a 47 mile per hour wind gusts at a measurement station. So there are gusty winds, and those are heading in the general direction of the FM area. Down south here, not far from Hankinson in southern Richland County, again, 50 mile per hour gusts peak, but the gustiest of the wind is on its way. We just showed you Doppler radar indication that off the ground, some several hundred feet or over 1,000 feet, the radar is measuring winds over 80 miles per hour and at times upwards of 100 miles per hour. So a dangerous line of thunderstorms, with the main threat being terrible winds with these storms. Matt, thank you for sharing stars. I truly appreciate you and all the fine work you do as well up in the Grand Forks area, teaching young folks like myself, and I consider myself young, about meteorology. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right. I also shared some pics with you. Thank you, Melanie. I appreciate that. If you upload them at my website, hutchesweather.com, then I have an opportunity to share them with you. I'll keep checking as often as I can, but to keep the flow going, I've got a new warning here, a new warning to let you know about in the Fergus Falls area and vicinity thereof. So these are going to blast across the state line now. They are over Lake Traverse and jumped into, well, Traverse County, Wilkin County, Big Stone County, right up here into Wilkin County now shortly. Wahpeton, Breckenridge, things are probably looking mighty ugly, and the wind is picking up. As we look out the windows here in Fargo, the sky's getting dark, but the storm is not necessarily severe here. We have hail pulsing up at times, close to severe. We measured winds just below severe criteria. I'm going to say 50 mile per hour winds or so, and hail up to 1 inch in diameter at times from these cells in northern Cass. Southern Cass, including Fargo, we might get a splitterooski around us. I know, highly technical term in meteorology. This cell moving just south of us, these cells moving to the north. Sometimes that happens. Do not fool yourself and say every time storms split around Fargo. That's not true. it can happen here too. So I'm going to keep you posted. Again, wind gusts today have reached nearly 50 miles per hour, measured at 70 plus mile per hour, and reports from the emergency manager in Clare City right here on the backside of the storm that windows are being broken out by debris from the wind in this terrible line of storms here. This is the main event right down here. There are very, very gusty winds heading towards Lakes Country. If you are in Lakes Country, I advise you now to think of a plan, if the windy thunderstorm warning is heading towards you, to get out of campers. 70 to 80 mile per hour winds can drive debris, cause trees to fall. You don't want to be in campers, tents, boats, right? Get off the water. This is a serious, I mean business windy thunderstorm that's heading through. All right, here's a look at where it is now. Here is a hail cluster. Where we have the largest hailstones too, by the way, when those big old heavy hailstones fall out, they can cause some pretty strong wind gusts. So if you are in central Richland County, that's where we're looking at, heading into Wahpeton, Breckenridge, there's towns for you. Lidgerwood, hail core forming over you now, heading towards Wahpeton. Leading edge of that roll cloud that we saw, that's heading into Wahpeton. Boom, there it is right there on this leading curved edge. Very, very windy. Even on the backside after the storm leaves, this is very windy right now with gusts continuing over 60 miles per hour likely. So very dangerous winds continue with this line of storms. The newest warning, you see the blinking areas here? I'm going to turn the watch off. The watch is all these yellow boxes. It might be confusing for you. I want to make it clear. There is a watch in our area, southern North Dakota, western and southern Minnesota until 7 o'clock. A severe thunderstorm watch means we have the ingredients, and some areas could see severe thunderstorms tonight. That's it. So that means be on your toes, and if a storm forms in your area, go to Hutch's Weather and we'll take care of you there. Now, let me turn these watches off so we can get a more clear picture of where the warnings are. Whoopsies. All right, sometimes. There we go. I was pushing on the wrong link. There we go. Okay, so now we're looking at just the warnings. Oh, now we're not looking at the warnings. And let me turn the watch off for now. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. Hi, Leo. Leo wants to cover some weather right now. Leo the cat. I think he's, oh no, he's looking for snacks. Okay, my bad. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is the area of warning. We do have a special statement for areas in the Fargo area. I'll get to that momentarily. Let's talk about this main event down here. This is a huge line of very gusty winds. We'll look at the measurements here. The National Weather Service says 70 mile per hour wind gusts anywhere from this line of storms. Anywhere. It's a huge warning. Huge. Very, very large. Considerable damage possible. We could have nickel-sized hail. That's not the main threat. We don't see a lot of pink here. But the wind from this storm, that energy is making its way down to the ground. So anybody in this area, prepare for gusts to 70 miles per hour. So that's the National Weather Service, and that's what the warning is for. We do have a warning here as well. Now that warning, who's in it? Wahpeton, Breckenridge, Fergus Falls, and points between on Highway 220 there, right? Foxhome. Elbow Lake, you are in the warning in Grant County. The storm is moving through Wheaton right now. Of course, you are in the warning. And Herman in Grant County on the southern fringe, you are also in the warning. Not yet in the warning Morris, not yet in the warning Ortonville, but look at what's on your doorstep. This is a hail-producing storm right here. That's moving through Millbank. You can't even read it because it's so, covered up with lightning, and 1-inch hail moving across the Highway 12 corridor right now towards Ortonville. That's a very strong storm and windy as well. Storms forming on the backside of this system. Let's take a look at those. But first, if you're in Hankinson, we got us a gully washer making its way through. Likely some very strong wind gusts potentially from these storms. These winds will gust from the west-southwest moving towards Wahpeton, like this. See the white arrow? Like that. Here's a hail core too. 1-inch hail possible from this storm as it moves towards Wahpeton and in rural parts of southern Richland County. Again, hail not the main threat from this line here. That's wind. That's moving out of Wheaton, moving into Wahpeton, Breckenridge now. So if you're in Wahpeton, Breckenridge, please batten down those hatches. Be prepared for gusty wind to move the lawn furniture. You don't want to be outside in this. You do not want to be in a camper in this. I've got another photo here uploaded from Shelby. Thank you, Shelby. This is East Wheaton and Cheyenne in West Fargo. Some great pictures showing up here. And I got to tell you, we have some, well, wow, look at this. Okay, looking at what's going on in West Fargo now. Thanks so much for sharing your photos. Let's go right to Hutch's photo page, and we'll show you, take a look at the latest. This is what you are reporting and you are seeing right now in real time. Shelby captured this East Beaton on Cheyenne in the West Fargo area. So we got some of them low-hanging scuddy clouds again. Those are the ones that are not necessarily a sign of a tornado. Sometimes they can be confused with spin-ups and whatnot if they're not rotating. But again, those little low-hanging clouds that look to be right over the top of that building there, by golly, that's a pretty mean thunderstorm, scraping pretty low to the ground. Is it rotating? Those are the kind of things that we would ask to see. So again, here is a look at those clouds that are definitely skirting mighty close to ground. I'm going to sit up straight here just a little bit. Oopsies. I got to grab this one and go up. There we go. And resize me just a little bit. I was too large. I don't want to be too large. I want to be just right. There we go. Okay, so now we'll lock that in. Okay, so these little guys down here that are scraping the top of the buildings out here, those are just low clouds. It's so humid, clouds form by just lifting the air a little bit. And again, these are some nasty dark gray clouds associated with the outflow from the storms moving into West Fargo right now. They are not severe. Shelby, thank you so very, very much for sharing your photo. We have more that have been shared today. I'll go ahead and take a look at this one, bowing into Hankinson. See, you can just see the curved shape of this dark leading edge. That is called a roll cloud. It's not attached to the parent thunderstorm. It's kind of on its own, and it's rolling out ahead. Underneath it, you're going to get all kinds of churning and rolling looking clouds. And that's caused by this gust front of, well, it's a burp out of the thunderstorm. That burp of rain-cooled air hits the ground and blows out in this direction. This backward C shape tells me there are some very gusty winds in this line of storms moving towards Hankinson. It confirms what the radar is showing us. If you're in Hankinson, well, those storms are moving out, but the wind is probably still quite strong there. I'd appreciate your updates there. This is west of Enderlin as the storms move through. These look very familiar, right? This is what moved into West Fargo here just moments ago. So again, a lot of scary looking clouds. The storms moving into the Fargo area are not severe at this particular time. Here is a late look at that radar. Again, Fargo, Moorhead. We have some rain showers moving in now with some low hanging clouds. These are associated with the outflow and the wind from the storms. The main event is back here in central Cass County. We have a pretty strong storm fixing to make its way in, and it's moseying right into Hillsboro and points north on 29. That system also showing some, well, at times, pulsing up, giving us some hail, pulsing back down. That's going through the Buxton area as well. Now, checking down south here, Fergus Falls. How long will the storm be before it makes its way into Wheaton, Breckenridge? Here is the leading edge. The wind is coming now. So let me know. What are you seeing? Put it in the comments here. Let me see. I haven't looked. Trev sent you a video, okay, and a private message from Kindred. Thank you. Can you upload all videos and photos to hutchesweather.com? Please. I'm going to put the link up here. hutchesweather.com/pics. This will take you right to the page. Look in the comments. You should see it right about now. Okay, bing, there it is. Click on that, upload your photos and videos there. Thank you so much, Ashley. It says like you've uploaded a photo too. Let's get the folks in Wheaton, Breckenridge, and Fergus Falls updated on when these storms are moving in. So the wind is moving into the Wheaton Breck area right now, but the main hail core and the kind of reinforcement of the wind is only 10 miles out. It's moving off to the north and east in your general direction, and it will be there very shortly. So the hail core moving in the general direction of Wheaton, Breckenridge. Hail is not the main threat. Wind gusts to 70, maybe 80 miles per hour are moving east-northeast at about 33 to 35 miles per hour. I'm going to use 34. And it's moving into Farmington in 13 minutes. Wheaton, Breckenridge within around 20 minutes. Again, the storm and the wind is moving in now. You're going to get rain now, but the hail core is moving in. So I'm focusing on the hail core. and then Foxholm in about 49 minutes. So that's what's heading your way. The total population affected by this little triangle here is about 15,000 people impacted just by that little part of the storm. And there's a lot more going to be impacted as it works its way towards Fergus Falls. Now let's time this puppy out to Fergus. So you've got some development right over Fergus now. Whoopsies. I'm having problems with my clicking here. There we go. Try to set this up. My apologies. Here is the leading curved edge. Now the city names popped off. I want Fergus on there so we can see you. I want to see you, Fergus. These are moving in your direction. You're going to get this leading edge. This is likely one of those roll clouds that I was showing you before. Are you seeing a roll cloud move into Fergus Falls? You're on the leading edge of a warning now. You're going to see that moving in now. Then the wind will pick up and you're going to get a cool burp. And this temperature is going to go down from 82 and 80 in Wahpeton and 84 in Fergus. When that burp moves through, we're going to see that number drop precipitously as that rolling cloud and caused by the cold air moves through. This storm, the main line with the main wind event and the, well, increased chance of hail is 18.7 miles away from Fergus Falls. How long will this be before this main energy works its way into the Fergus Falls area? I'm going to use 33, 34 miles per hour as I've been. We're going to talk about Foxholm in 28 minutes, French in 36 minutes, Fergus Falls 45 minutes from now. So you're going to be getting some shower and thunder shower activity, but the main wind and hail potential arrives in about 35 to 40 minutes. Samantha, thanks to you. Thanks to all of you who are promoting and sharing stars with Hutch. It really does help support what Hutch is doing, which includes expanding and developing a new website, which includes being here for you when the storms are hitting and being able to talk to you and answer your questions in real time. All of this is what you help me develop here. And I appreciate all of you. Downpour in South Fargo. Thank you so very much. Sarah reporting that downpour in South Fargo right now. So here is our main event. What's the forecast? These storms are heading to Fergus Falls, Otter Tail County. Almost all of Otter Tail County has a chance of seeing storms. Not everybody's going to get the gusty straight line winds. I want to show you a loop of radar data and talk about this for a second. And this is only the last little over hour. What you're seeing here is the movement of this storm to the north on the I-29 corridor between Fargo and Grand Forks. Remember I said we might get split? Yep. The southern part of Fargo is getting heavy rain. That storm is splitting right over the top of us a little bit. It's not really splitting, but the radar is detecting the individual cells as these storms get closer to the radar site. So that's what happens. They don't always split around Grand Forks. They don't always split around Fargo, but it just appears that they do because as the storms get closer to the radar can see the greater detail. The beam width of the radar beam is more narrow close to the radar than it is far away. So that's why it looks like it splits around your town. This storm cell here, I want to point out that when it was out here was a lot more red and pink in it when it first fired up. We're losing some of the hail production from this line of storms, okay? Doesn't mean it won't pulse back up when it runs into some more hot and humid air with the dew points in the 80s. Do you see that dew point is 82? 82 right now in Wahpeton, Breckenridge. That is some sticky air. You'll never dry off from your shower. Never. Just get a new towel. Put the towel in the dryer and then get another one because it's just going to be that sticky out there. Rain-cooled temperatures in Jamestown and rain-cooled temperatures are down in the 70s, but look at the dew points, still real high. It's still real muggerific out there. Temperature in Fargo, 82 ahead of the storm, and there is some rain being reported. I'm going to check a look at the photos that have been uploaded. You are all the very bestest because you are interacting with me. You're providing us with updates about what we're seeing with regards to these storms. Here is one. This is a farmstead. We're going to update this photo here by Ashley. Thank you so very much. Oakport Township down on the north side of Moorhead. And then I've got another one from Bill here. Let's see what Bill has. Oh, we've got some low scrapers. All right, we're going to have to show some more pictures here because this is updating you in real time of what's going on. I've got to check this video for update here. Let me see what it looks like. And let's open it. Got to make sure everything is... Oh my gosh. It don't get more cool than that. Jonah, thank you. It's being uploaded to the website and approved right now. So in real time, I'm just going through and approving your photos as you send them to me and sharing with them. I hear wind. Oh, it's getting dark in Moorhead. Okay, here we go. So the wind and the dark skies are moving into the FM area. It's even windier and darker down here in the Southern Valley right now, where we have thunderstorm warnings. And the winds measured by Doppler radar were in excess of 80 miles per hour moments ago. At one point near Clare City, Hutch saw the Doppler radar from Aberdeen measure 106 plus miles per hour at cloud level. Sometimes that energy mixes down to the ground. Here's what's coming to Fargo Moorhead. We got some windy storms. Notice the rain and the heavy hail potential. Generally nickels, maybe penny-sized hail moving through northern Cass. Here's what's coming into South Fargo right now. It looks like it's kind of maybe splitting, but there's some development going on right here. So some new thunderstorms are forming in the area. And I hear the wind. I hear the wind. So the wind is very gusty out there. Tornado sirens just went off in Wheaton. Lacey is reporting. Let me check with the Weather Service and see what we've got, because I've got a direct line to them. And if you have reports of something, okay, the speed with the storm moving through the area into Ottertail and Wilkin County is now picking up, and it's moving at about 40 miles per hour with the gusty winds. Pushing into Fergus Falls here shortly, the way things are looking here. The core of the storm is back here, but you're getting that leading edge stuff making its way in now. The winds are just picking up in Moorhead as these storms move through. Notice we have heavier rain and darker colors on the radar. Kindred, Walcott moving on the county line here with Richland County and heading towards Horace and heading towards Sabin and heading towards maybe Oxbow as well as the Wild Rice area. So that's where a heavier portion of that storm is working its way through. There is a thunderstorm watch until 7 o'clock tonight. These storms are blowing their way through. There is dangerous winds associated with this storm, and the sirens are potentially going off in and around the areas of Breckenridge and Wheaton. Sirens in Wap. Thank you, Clinton. Let's go ahead. Damage in Clare City. Stacy says, I was noting that before. I heard from the National Weather Service office and the emergency manager in Clare City that windows were being blown out by debris from these storms. So these have some significant wind potential. All right, so let's take a look at that wind potential that we're measuring from the Aberdeen radar. We're going to look at that together right now. The latest wind measurements are at cloud level. This is not what's on the ground right now. So please know that. And we're getting far away from the radar site here. So the accuracy of what's hitting the ground gets more questionable. But in the clouds above you in the Wheaton area right now, as I put the crosshairs up here, you can see wind speeds coming up. You see that 59 miles per hour? Let's put that right over this area of yellow. And the measurements aloft are a little lower than they were earlier. We're still measuring over 60 mile per hour winds aloft. I saw a 75. Ugh. Yeah, we still got 70 to 80 mile per hour winds showing up aloft above Wheaton. Okay. Where we see this backwards C shape, then that's a real good indication that that storm is pushing out in that direction. That's one of those roll clouds that's rolling out in that direction, and the wind is pushing in behind it at the ground level. So these ground level winds are going to be considerably strong with these storms. Power line, roof, and bin damage in Clare City. Stacy, if you were from Clare City, thank you for your reports. If you're from Clare City and it's safe to do so, I would invite you to upload photos. Look for my link provided right here in this update. I'd appreciate that. Funnel spotted by Wahpeton, Clinton says. Thank you for your report. Let's go ahead and take a look at the velocities right now in the Wahpeton Breckenridge area. Yep, we do have spin in the clouds right here. This is from the Aberdeen radar. We're going to double Doppler this. We're going to look at two Dopplers. That's the this is the Aberdeen radar showing red and green next to each other in Wahpeton. And then this is going to be a little farther away, but we're going to look at the Mayville radar too and see higher up in the cloud. Is it seeing greens and reds next to each other? There is some. Funnel, according to this, possibly spotted in Wahpeton. I do not have confirmation from anybody on that, but I do have folks sending me videos. Oh boy, let's see. What do we got here? Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. Sorry. I'm just taking in information here from different folks who are uploading to different sites of mine. And to consolidate everything into one place, that's why I have developed hutchesweather.com. So the Wahpeton area, sirens are going off. There could be a spin up. It's not out of the question that funnel clouds can be sighted along this leading edge. That is possible. I would be seeking shelter in an interior room. Stay away from windows. I will pass along to the Weather Service that there are unconfirmed, because I can't confirm it right now, reports. But if you show me photos and it's safe to do so, and you're a storm spotter or whatnot, post it on my page. Near Wahpeton. Okay, I just pass that along to the National Weather Service because that helps them decide what's going on. And I'm sure if it's a storm spotter that spotted this, there is some spin in the cloud, both on this side of the storm and a little bit out ahead of it, moving through the Wahpeton Breckenridge area and toward the Wahpeton Breckenridge area. That's let me look a little higher in the cloud to see if that spin is hot. Yep, there it is. It's strong on the lower scan. Let's go up a little tilt here and see. If it's evident there, same spot, still reds and greens next to each other right here. This is moving in the general direction of you and Wahpeton, this little spinning core. There's another one out here. That one not necessarily spin though. Let's not go there. I'll describe that later. So if you're in Wahpeton Breckenridge, I think it'd be advisable to seek shelter, interior room, sturdy structure, lowest floor. So get down to the lowest floor, put as many walls between you and the storm as you possibly can, and prepare for gusty straight line winds. Do not be by windows, particularly on the west side of your property, because these gusty winds are going to come at you from the west-southwest, and they could be quite strong. So that's what I'm seeing right here on the radar. There is some suggestion of some spin with these storms. Not trying to alarm people, but sometimes severe thunderstorms, particularly with gust fronts like this one does, a gust front is what we're seeing blowing out and away from the radar. That gust front has evidence all the way out here. The burp of air out of these storms spreading out ahead is a front. It's creating its own cold front, and it's making its way through the region. So we're seeing that. We're seeing the roll clouds from your pictures. We're seeing the backward C shape. But not only that now, you see this little bite taken out of it right here? This cluster of thunderstorms, it's not one thunderstorm, it's dozens of thunderstorms between here and curling around through Morris-Benson. New warning for the Morris-Benson area, by the way. New warning for Elbow Lake in Grant County. Wait a minute. That warning has been expired, it looks like. Nope, there it is. It was just disappeared in the radar data. Here is the warning for Elbow Lake. Yes, gusty straight line winds are going to be the main threat from these storms. I'm not seeing a lot of pink for hail, but from Morris straight up into Grant County, Herman, Elbow Lake, Hoffman may be out of it, but that storm is going to be blowing its way towards you. Point I was getting at, if we watch this loop, you're going to see this whole thing kind of spiraling around this, and that's a little area of low pressure. This cluster of many thunderstorms has developed what we call a more organized cluster of storms, and it creates its own cold front, its own warm front, and circulation. So it's a mesoscale, convective, meaning thunderstorm, complex. There's a complex of storms, a bunch of them, and it's taking on this backwards C shape and rotation. So let's watch the loop of it together, and I'm going to go out a little bit farther in time than an hour here. Let's go back a little bit more, and we'll see the evolution of what was just a couple of thunderstorms working their way through the area that have now developed into a solid line. A couple huge thunderstorms, the bowing of it, creating an outflow, and now we've got this cluster of thunderstorms creating its own area of lower pressure. Brand new warning just issued. National Weather Service says almost all of Otter Tail County now is under a severe thunderstorm warning. Here it comes in. You're hearing it in real time. Again, I'm going to do a test message on Hutch's ability here to communicate with folks who are not watching. I just saw a light flash here. So we've got some significant stormage going on through the area here. So let's see. Pardon me. Let's go here. Pardon me while I connect with more. Again, if you would pass the word along to your friends here that Hutch is covering this live, it really does help. I'm getting pictures all over the place. Please upload those to hutchesweather.com. Very, very busy day here in the Southern Valley right now. These storms have become severe. And let's see if I can go to, here we go. Okay. We're going to try something, and I'm going to test something for the very first time. I want to send this to the group. Let's see. Let's see. All right. So for those of you who have subscribed to Hutch's Weather, I just sent out my first test email, but it's not really a test. It's an email that's letting folks know that I'm covering these storms. So we have severe thunderstorms heading into Lakes Country. I'm not going to overuse these emails. It's just an ability to contact folks that are out ahead of the storms that haven't seen what they're capable of doing yet, and getting that word out there. The Wheaton Breckenridge area sirens have been reported to be on in Wheaton and in Breckenridge. If you did get that email in the notes here in the Facebook Live, go ahead and pop a note and let me know. Thunder and lightning, Fergus Falls starting. Thanks for your support of stars. KR, thank you. A couple other notes here from you. I've got Dilworth winding up. Yes, not crazy, just solid gusts. Amanda says wind in North Fargo too. Thank you very much. Thunder and rain being reported across the area. A lot of stars. Thanks to all of you. My hat's off to all of you. Gusty winds. Just measured on Doppler radar in excess of 70 miles per hour up at cloud level now, not on the ground, are making their way into Fergus Falls right now. If you are anywhere in this orange area, it's a huge area, but gusty winds are going to be the #1 threat. Small pockets have hail upwards of, say, nickel-sized diameter hail. This backward C shape has evolved, and this is becoming a complex of storms that could be persistent with its production of wind. We'll keep our eyes on that for you. But if you are in any of these areas, including Douglas County now, so if you're in Alexandria, if you're in Glenwood, if you're in Morris, these areas, this line of thunderstorms, main threat, gusty straight line winds. Oftentimes, the strongest winds are where we see the backward C shape curving. So pausing this on the latest, drawing with my colored pencil right here. See this backward C shape? Where this is called the bow echo. This is the apex of the bow. Right in here is oftentimes where we see some of the strongest gusts. Not always. And there is a huge bow here as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at storm reports. I'll see if there's any storm reports starting to show up. Clare City, it sounds like to me, has had significant damage in northern South Dakota. Here are reports from National Weather Service offices in the last 6 hours from our storms. Now, we did have morning storms in the Devil's Lake Basin, but look at these wind gusts being reported. All these little blue stickers here from areas where we got measured winds not far from Groton, just north. Magnitude of the wind, 75 miles per hour from a mesonet station. It's an actual measurement. That's ridiculous wind. 70 mile per hour plus winds recorded in Lake City, South Dakota, and Marshall County. That's ridiculous wind. And we had those move right up and kiss Sisseton. No reports from Sisseton yet here, but another 60 plus mile per hour gust, 67 mile per hour gust, Roy Lake, 4 miles northwest of the old state park there. Now, these storms are blowing through Wheaton, Breckenridge now. We do have reports that there was funnels sighted, non-confirmed reports. I have not confirmed those yet. But if you have photos of this, sirens going off in Morris, thank you for your update, Chris. More than that, thank you for sharing the word that Hutch's Weather is covering your weather out there in Morris and Benson, kind of on the fringe of different areas of coverage from whether it's different types of broadcast media. So I'm glad to be of help there. Fargo, Moorhead, we have the strongest of the storms moving just south of us. It's not warned for. We do not have a severe thunderstorm warning. So there are strong cells. southern cast, southern clay, making its way across the Red River right now. Hail up to 1 inch possible from this. That storm is not moving north. That's an error. This is moving more easterly, northeasterly. So east-northeasterly, and it's moving towards Barnesville and it's moving towards Sabin. And now I'm getting an even more intense hail building up of that cell as this area is crashing into some hot, humid air, and it's causing the development of some more strong storms. Hillsborough, moving into Polk County, now Halstead, we're getting a line of storms making its way across there. These storms have hail potential about nickel in diameter. The wind gusts not quite as strong from these. We don't see that classic backward C shape here, but you're going to burp out some gusty winds from these puppies. We're talking 45, 50 mile per hour gusts possible from them, and I'm hearing thunder and lightning right now in the FM area. Most of it looks like it's split over the FM area. Let's get to the latest on winds. If you're in Fergus Falls, if you're in Elbow Lake, if you're in Morris, gusty straight line winds are making their way through. Look at the I-94 corridor. These winds will come from the west-southwest. The interstate's going this way. There's going to be a crosswind that slams high-profile vehicles. In some spots, that crosswind could be in excess of 70 miles per hour. Let's show some Hutch. Oh, thanks, Dylan. I appreciate that. Thanks, KR. I appreciate that. Let's go ahead and take a look at some wind measurements from local Doppler radars. Again, up aloft. What are we seeing? What are you seeing? These wind measurements. Let's take one quick look. These are actual velocities that the Doppler radar is measuring. And this is at cloud level because the radar points up. So it's not necessarily what's hitting the ground, but it is a tool that we have to highlight areas of these thunderstorms that have the gustiest burping of winds. Okay. Now, as we take a look near Herman, moving into Herman, number one, it's a backward C shape. See that bow? And we got winds up above the ground that are approaching 70 miles per hour. That's nasty. Not only that, we have that wind blowing through Wheaton. The wind is going to last for some time too. And I'm trying to get some confirmation from the National Weather Service of what's going on in and around the Clare City area. So let me take a look and see if I have any more reports to pass along there. Okay, Robert's emergency manager. Okay. All right, no new news from Northeast South Dakota as the storms exit your area. That's good news. If you have photos to share, upload to hutchesweather.com/pics. I've got a link in the comments. Scroll through those. All right, let's take a look here as I look at, oh boy, 77. Did you see that? I saw 77 mile per hour gusts here on the last scan, 79. This is aloft. This is not on the ground, but at cloud level, where the Doppler radar crossed this cloud's path, there's 80 mile per hour winds blowing towards Elbow Lake. So batten down the hatches. Do not try to ride this storm out on any lake in a camper or cabin around trees. Get away from those, get to a sturdy structure. 70 to 80 mile per hour winds can down trees, and you don't want to be in a unsafe, unsturdy structure during a storm like this. There has been some unconfirmed reports of funnel clouds. There have been sirens going off in our communities, Morris, as well as the Wheaton, Breckenridge area here in the last little bit as these storms fly their way through. This is what you're looking at. Very, very strong wind. Number one threat. The hail risk is there. It'll be wind driven. So let me put this into perspective for you. If hail is blowing through the air and it's driven by 50 mile per hour winds, even if it's pea-sized hail, it's going to just do ridiculous things to your siding and to your car. So put the vehicle in the garage, stay away from windows. The wind is going to be from the west or west-southwest from this line of storms that you're seeing here in all these wild colors showing up here on Hutch's Weather. Let's go ahead and take a look at the reflectivity now. As far as hail goes, we have a couple hail balls, we'll call them that. Here's one near Ortonville where there's a lot of pink and 1 inch plus diameter hail possible. That cell's moving off to the east. There is no warning for that particular cell at this particular time, but that's a developing one on the tail end of this line of storms. Sometimes those take over. Now, here's the curling Q. This curling ball here is a complex of thunderstorms called a convective complex, or a mesoscale, smaller scale convective complex of storms. If I was a weather person, which I am, you could draw an L right there. That's low pressure that's developing right there. It's creating its own cold front, warm front, and circulation around this entire storm. So this one could persist for some time. Fargo, Moorhead, we're on the north side of this. We got garden variety thunderstorms and a pretty good hail cell moving in towards Sabin right now. This is not moving north. I believe it's moving more east and should stay just south of Sabin, but look at where it is. It's right here moving toward the Highway 52 corridor. This hail shaft could be driven by winds that are upwards of 45, maybe 50 miles per hour. That's what we're noting here. Halstead, Ada, Norman County, Northern Clay County, a line of thunderstorms moving in towards you. So very gusty winds in the blue here. These are areas where we have wind reports. I do not see a damage report yet. Oh yeah, I do. Damage report in Britain. Okay, let's see what we got. Location, Britain, emergency manager, photo sent from Marshall County, time estimated by the radar. What kind of damage? It doesn't say in this report. So I don't have any damage report as far as what was damaged, but there was something damaged in Britain, South Dakota. So wind and damaging storms heading right into lakes country. So it's moving into Fergus Falls now. It's moving toward the Big Lake shortly. So if we take a look at Ottertail Lake, Pelican Lake, we got all our lakes country here in Ottertail County that's going to be impacted right here. Here's a bow. There's the Big Lake. So the western reaches of the lake are in the path of the storm. Now, I can go ahead and take a look at when it's going to be and where it's going to be. So let's time out this northern section first, and we'll go ahead and pop that information for you if you're watching in Ottertail Lake, Ottertail City, moving at 40 miles per hour now. It's picking up in speed. It's going to be near Ottertail City. Ottertail City, 25 minutes, and on towards the New York Mills area in 40 minutes from now. So about 10 after 2, it should be approaching New York Mills. I'll keep you posted. Now, as we take a look on the southern side of the county, moving off to the east, we have storms that are moving towards you folks in near Battle Lake. So let's put this at 40 plus miles per hour or so. And now let's look at Urbank, Vining, Almora, Parker's Prairie, all within a half hour or just a little bit more from those particular storms. Getting in towards the Battle Lake area. Let's go here towards Wadena. It's raining pretty good here, but that's about all we got in South Moorhead from Hutch's report. I'm hearing some drips of rain, nothing driving, nothing too bad. The wind is breezy. Battle Lake, 16 minutes. So it's moving towards Battle Lake in about 15 minutes. So about quarter till you're going to get that wind picking up and the rain will begin intensifying. And this could last upwards of 45 minutes with the rain, and the wind could last even longer. Almora, 40 minutes away. Let's look at Alexandria for you folks watching. First of all, thank you. My name is Hutch Johnson. I'm a meteorologist here that has been working in the Fargo market for 17 years and in the region for the last 27 years. Let's go ahead and take a look at this moving at 40 miles per hour. And if you haven't watched me, welcome. I appreciate having you. Let people know I'm out there. Your word of mouth has really helped me out a lot, getting the word out. Home City, 15 minutes from you. Nelson, 35 minutes from you. But Alexandria, 25 minutes away. So before we get to 2 o'clock, these windy line of thunderstorms will be blowing right to the I-94 corridor through Alex. So be prepared for that. Sauk Center on the outside of an hour, those storms could be heading towards you. Morris, what are you seeing, Morris? Wahpeton, Breckenridge, there is a hail core developing right here in town near this area of low pressure. You guys likely have some weird whipping winds. On the south side, you got these winds coming out of the southwest, but this is the center of the mesoscale low. Sirens sounding in Fergus Falls, says Tom. Thank you, Tom. Fergus Falls, gusty storms making their way through. It is 1:30 as the clock is ticking here, with this storm making a main threat of very gusty straight line winds. I do have a 60 mile per hour plus gust, 64 mile per hour gust in Morton, measured by that end-on site there. Thank you very much for your reports. Again, gusty straight line winds. There is a hail core developing now south of Fargo. That South Fargo storm there is going to slide very near Sabin, but likely stay just south. We'll watch that one as it works its way through. And that's what we have going on this very active midday afternoon hour here. I am going to stick with this storm through Fergus Falls and Fargo. I'm looking for your reports right now, so bear with me while I take a look at that. And I will go ahead and say, no matter where you are and no matter when you're there, you can always visit hutchesweather.com. Right here you go, hutchesweather.com. When you go to the home page, it's very helpful if you would put a note here of your email address. You sign up for emails, and in situations like this, I can tap you on the shoulder and say, hey, I'm covering storms now. Did you get the notice? Did you get the email if you were one of my subscribers? That would be good to know. You hit the nail on the head. Weird whipping winds in Breckenridge and heavy rain. Thanks, Lindsay. Stay safe. Stay in your sheltered area there. That's nasty. Tree down in the yard in Breckenridge, Carly. When you get a chance to know the diameter of the tree, is it a 1 foot diameter tree? Is it a 6 inch diameter tree? That kind of information can help us with the wind potential speeds that we saw with the storms. But on Hutch's website right here, at the top, pop in your email address. Let us have your notifications of your location if you don't mind. Then we can tell you where a warning is. So if I reload this, we don't have a warning in Moorhead. But what does it do say? It says, oh, there's nearby weather alerts. There was a special weather statement for Moorhead. That's all right here. You can read all about it on hutchesweather.com. Hutch is live. What? If you click on this button right on the website, it's going to take you to what we're talking about right now. Here's your current conditions if you let us access your location. Again, interactive radar. What's coming? Oops, storm split around Fargo and then boop, reformed on the other side. How's that happen? We just talked about that on Hutch's Weather. And then moving through Wheaton, Breckenridge, whipping wind in an area of low pressure, moving into Ottertail County, the Morris area, heading towards Alexandria right now. That's what's going on your interactive radar. You can check out the latest there. And also on Hutch's Weather, all of my recent forecast videos that I've made and your photos. There it is. Bing, ding, ding. Okay, so you can get the latest on hutchesweather.com. This is where I want you to upload your photos and your reports, your rainfall amounts, all of it by going to the photo upload section and uploading those there. This is going to continue to build and evolve, but it wouldn't be possible without all of my fine sponsors here. So please check them out and, well, let them know your appreciation because I sure appreciate them. Without them, Hutch's Weather, not possible. Did you get the email? Let's take a look at some of the updates here. I'm going to put you on the radar here. You can watch that loop. You'll see the latest. I'm going to disappear while I'm looking through your reports. Have you sent me any more uploads? Let me see. I'm checking my website right now, and in real time, we'll get that right out to you. So yes, I've got some interesting stuff to look at here. A new video. Let me take a look. I've got to clear it first and make sure it's good and clean. Okay, so we've got some windy thunderstorms that are moving through the Breckenridge area, some swirling clouds, it looks like. Okay, we're going right to these videos here. We've got a couple to show you, and let's do it right now. Hutch's Weather, what's coming through? What are you noticing? What are you seeing? This is helpful. I think covering weather this way is my favorite because I get to interact with you. Now let's talk about your photos and your uploads. Right here's the latest on what's been uploaded. I want to show this, the front rolling through Horus. This video, Jonah. Look at this time lapse. See the rising motion making the clouds? That's what makes clouds. Air rising. How is the air rising? Well, we got cold air at the surface forcing the warm, hot, humid, sticky air up, and it's making clouds. And Jonah captured it for us to watch how clouds are made in real time. We can see the rising air condense and make clouds right in front of our eyeballs with a time lapse. Really cool, Jonah. Thank you. That was rolling through Horus just moments ago. Shared from Oakport Township as the storms move through. Look at that. Do you see that leading edge of the storm right there? Woo-wee. Ashley sharing this. That low thing is not attached to the parent thunderstorm. So since it's not, it's likely what we call a roll cloud. If it is attached to the main supercell, then that is a Shelfie McShelferson, otherwise known as a shelf cloud. You captured an awesome view there. Thanks for uploading. And now let's check out Fargo. Flags flying. And this is a view from the Camping World area. We all know where that is, 45th. Bill, thank you very much for your shot of those low, scary clouds. You can see how low they are as they blew through Fargo. The brunt of the storm did not hit us, but I really appreciate your sharing. Now, Wheaton, Breckenridge, sirens were going off. Jerry shares this. We can see this video sharing the wind just uploaded moments ago. Storm moving through, swirling winds. I do have reports of some trees broken. I'll look for those reports and I'll try to pass along to the Weather Service in real time here what we're seeing. But heavy rain, swirling winds, and well, what looks like some flashes of lightning through the raindrops there. Thank you, Jerry, for sharing your video and upload right here on Hutch's Weather. Here is a bowing structure to the storm Jenny captured when this cloud was making its way through Hankinson earlier. This is what's heading into Fergus Falls now. Your sirens were reportedly going off there. Again, thank you so very, very much for all of your reports. You're looking at Hutch's website, hutchesweather.com, where you can upload and share your reports of weather through video, through pictures like this nonsense hail. Terry shared this from my old stomping grounds in Lincoln, North Dakota. South of Bismarck, just south of town there by the airport. Look at that. That's 1, 2, 3-inch diameter goofy hail. And next to it fell a 2-inch diameter ball of hail the other night on those weekend storms. Hutchesweather.com. Thanks for supporting it. Thanks for supporting my sponsors. And thanks for watching. Latest radar shows this. All right. Huge area of severe thunderstorm warnings. We'll keep watching that for you. The warnings are moving into Fergus Falls. I will look at the velocities with regards to these storms. I've had an unconfirmed report of a funnel cloud in and around the Wheaton Breckenridge area. We are looking along the leading edge. We're looking for greens immediately next to reds and preferably brighter colors. And if they're bright right next to each other, it could indicate spin. Here is the greatest amount of spin that I'm seeing south of Artichoke right here. Brighter greens next to brighter reds. Doesn't mean a tornado's on the ground. It does mean that there's some spinning in that particular cloud or cell. There are a couple little areas that could have some brief spin-ups that happen along these leading edges. One of those areas is in this pocket where my hand is here. One of these other areas is in this pocket where my hands are. Those are weak. And the radar has a hard time depicting these little spin-ups that form along the leading edge of these storms. Morris, just outside of you, there could be one of those developing, but there is one between Herman and Hoffman. There is one near Elbow Lake, just to your south. Doesn't mean a tornado's on the ground. It means that along that leading gusty line, there's some possible rotation going on in a couple of those cells. So that's what we have going on the velocity side. Here's a look at the warning side. The storms moving through southern parts of Clay County right now are not severe, but this puppy right here, do you see the lightning starting to rise up? Yeah, that lightning is rising up. We're getting more and more of it just south of town. As a thunderstorm forms and the upward moving air interacts with downward moving air, and there's a lot more ice being made in that cloud, then it's rubbing together like a balloon on your head, and we get static electricity, and that's lightning. As storms get more intense, they tend to produce more lightning. This cell is increasing in intensity as it moves right towards just south of Sabin now. Passing the I-94 corridor between Barnesville and Sabin is where this is going to be popping through, right at the Downer exit. Baker to Downer. That's where this one's heading. So I think there could be some sizable hail in this. What about wind gusts with that? Not as strong as those storms to the south, but hard to measure because of the location of this storm and the wind direction relative to the storm. Not easy to see. A lot of folks. Sioux Pass Ranch, are you there? Let me see your reports here. What about Wadena? Okay. Brittany says tornado touchdown at Mindak outside of Wahpeton. I don't know. Brittany, I'm going to look for your report there, but I don't know. Brother says roofs being ripped off buildings. Okay. So Brittany's hearing of damage in and around Wahpeton. I would love to know exactly where, and I want to pass that along to the Weather Service. I don't know if they've gotten that. Hearing reports. No photos yet of serious damage outside of Breckenridge. Roofs off buildings, etc. Okay, so thank you for your report. I'll get back to your comments. See, you're helping me cover weather faster than I can read. Shirley, good to have you on board. Dark and windy Moorhead. High winds, Ada. Thank you very much, Connie. Watching from Campbell, good to have you on board. The sky, that cell right here, you can hear the thunder blasting in Moorhead right now. And it's really got to be sounding heavy in the Downer area and in Sabin. Heavy winds, rain, Moorhead on board. Any storms in Moorhead, mainly to our south? Yes, we've got thunderstorms and little rain, but the main event is to the south of us. Bring on the storms. I'm praying for safety too, Brenda. We definitely want to keep people safe. That's one of the things that drives me and a lot of meteorologists to report the weather. Thunder and lightning, Sabin. Yep, Laura, you are right on. Wadena, question mark. Yep, they're heading your way. A ways away yet. I'll get to that momentarily. Should Glendon take shelter? Glendon, no. There's no warning for our area, but if you are in the Sabin area and out towards Downer, there is an increasingly strong hail-producing storm, and it could produce, as it makes bigger hail up in the clouds, stronger winds later. Brittany says, at Mindak. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So thank you for your report. I'm just now kind of looking at more information. Thunder in Thief River, Justin, thank you very much. Sirens in Pelican. Okay, let's get down to those storms over here. Serious damage potentially near Mindak in the Wahpeton Breckenridge area. I will pass that to the National Weather Service because I didn't put a location. Okay, so there's that. Sirens sounding in Fergus Falls as well. Here's this little backwards C-shape, this cluster of storms called a mesoscale convective complex rolling through. Very gusty winds are going to be possible anywhere along this leading edge, particularly where we see these backwards C-shapes. This is wind blowing from the southwest. That's moving into Pelican Rapids. That's moving into Maine. That's if you're anywhere on Highway 108, including anyone at the campground here. Okay, so you got the Maplewood State Park right here. You're in the path of these storms. So you need to get off of the boats, get off the lake, and seek shelter in a sturdy structure. These could be some very terrible and strong winds in excess of 60 or even 70 miles per hour. Considerable damage is the term used by the National Weather Service is likely from the straight line winds from these storms. Alexandria, Parker's Prairie, Battle Lake, the winds and the storms are just getting to you. Notice more of a straight look to the radar data here. That doesn't mean it's not windy there, but more than likely the stronger winds are just to your north. Now let's look at where we do have some other very strong winds. See this? This is called a Boeing shape. Boom, we got some winds coming into Douglas County on the interstate heading right towards Alexandria right now. Wind is still probably blowing in Elbow Lake, so keep that in mind. Even though the heaviest of this line is pushed past you, it's likely ripping winds. Let's go to the Glenwood area, Morris, all the way down into Appleton. This is a hailer down here. No warning on this one yet. And we definitely have that pushing in towards the Hancock area. That could be over 1 inch diameter hail from that storm moving very near the Appleton area. So that is a look at the latest. I'm hearing Thief River Falls getting some thunder. Why? We got a cell forming. Now, it's not impossible that we won't see a severe storm up there, but the energy in the atmosphere is lower north of Highway 200. So what I will do is remind everyone here by turning on the watch, the thunderstorm watch. I turned it off so we could better see what's going on here. The watch is all these yellow counties. So this is where the risk is greatest for severe storms today, per the National Weather Service office in Grand Forks, North Dakota, doing an awesome job of outlining where the storms are expected to be. This goes all the way back to Pier because later today there'll be more storms firing there. So you're watching an extended outlook here from Hutch on Hutch's weather. Thank you for watching. This is the latest I've got. Sirens going off in Pelican. Courtney was in the Wadena tornado 5 years ago. That was, oh, amazing. I was covering those storms, and yes, I remember it well. 2010, June 17th. 80 plus tornadoes in Minnesota that day. Okay, Thunder Richville, appreciation. Thank you, Gene, for watching. Thank you. What to expect at WeFest for those working and staying in tents and nowhere to go, asking for a friend. Okay, let's get to WeFest here. I want to answer this as I'm scrolling down through these. These storms are a little ways away. There's no warning, and on the north side, they've been a little bit weaker, but that doesn't mean they'll be weak. This is surging north. WeFest, south of the DL area. So if you're at Sioux Pass Ranch, you're right in this area, okay? So if you're in this area, there's a line of storms that are non-severe right now, but you can expect gusty winds, and the latest from the Weather Service is right here, right now. Let's go over it. I think we're going to see wind gusts upwards of 50 miles per hour and hail P to maybe penny sized. We're talking, oh, this is the watch area. I'm sorry. I saw 2.5-inch hail. I'm like, no, that's not hidden. That's not quite what I'm looking for. I want a look at this. Okay, here we go. So here's the statement from the Weather Service. P and 40 mile per hour gusts and pea-size hail. So if you are in a tent, if you're in something like that, right now these storms are below severe criteria. Will they stay that way? Well, right now they are staying below severe criteria. So this is the line that's heading in your way at Sioux Pass Ranch. How long will it be there before it gets to you? Let's time that out because there's a number of people out there. Thank you for asking the question. Just south of DL, the storms are 27 miles away. Let's look at the motion from the National Weather Service, but it looks like it's about 35 miles per hour. 45 miles per hour. Storm movement, 45 miles per hour. So Hutch says we'll take a timing for you on the storm's movement towards Sioux Pass Ranch. If you are there, there are a couple of cells that will get there early, and thunderstorms forming over you right now. This little cluster will get there soon. This one could have some small hail in it, but the main line with the gustiest wind is on its way, and it's moving this way, and it's moving at 45 miles per hour. Shazam! This will be near Rolog in 14 minutes, so just after 2. Cormorant, 25 minutes after the hour. On towards Audubon, 32 minutes. So if you are in Audubon, you're about 35 minutes away. Other communities in the path, Detroit Lakes, 39 minutes away. So 39 minutes from now, we'll put it here before 2:30, and likely you'll feel the wind gusts a little earlier than that. So let's call it 2:22. Because 222 is easy to remember. And it seems to be accurate. 10,000 people in the path of this little section of the storm. Okay. Let's look at the details coming in from the National Weather Service. I'm not sure. I got something. All right. Very good. Thanks for letting me know, Chris. Chris was noticing on the email that when he clicked on the link, nothing happened. I'm not sure, but you may need to hit the control button and click on your email. Thank you for letting me know, though. I will look into it. It worked for me on my email, but that might not be the case for you, where it says click here to watch. Yeah, that worked for me too. Sometimes some computers, you do have to press the control key and then click the mouse button, and then it'll take you to the link. But I'd like to know that because we can put that in the directions. Thank you for your feedback. Hutch's weather, real time. I would love to see, I've got Lidgerwood photos here. Oh boy, trees down, big trees down, Lidgerwood tree damage. I need those uploaded to my site. I'll pass that along to the Weather Service office right now. Derek, please upload your photos to the website, hutchesweather.com. Tree damage, Lidgerwood. All right, very good. Thank you for your upload. I'm going to continue to look through your information. Thunder and Thief River Falls. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I've looked at those. Now let's look at photos uploaded on my site again. Let's go ahead and get you there. Oh man, we got a lot. Okay. I got to look at videos first before I approve them for obvious reasons. It's important. Okay, very good. Thank you. That's approved. Let me see. And thank you for bearing with me while I get the latest uploads from Hutch's Weather here. So, okay. There we go. Okay, so these storms are continuing to bring a wind threat, and I'm starting to see more and more of your pics uploaded here. So Heather, thank you for your upload of a video. That's approved. You can go online and see those. It's at hutchesweather.com. Maisie, what is this? Oh my goodness. That looks, let me see. Got to open that. Oh yeah. Yeah, that looks like a pretty mean looking cloud there. Looks like you're shooting that near Fergus Falls. The clouds, that's approved. That's up on there. We'll show all of you these just moments here. Oof. Supercell thunderstorm moving over the area. Thank you for your photo, Jason. All right, I think I've caught up with that. And now I'm looking for any reports on your Facebook feed here. Wind picking up. Okay. All right, I think I'm caught up with some of the latest. Looking at. Very good. Close that. All right. Okay, it's okay, Pedro. Pedro just heard lightning and thunder in the FM area. So here's the latest. There is some good news to report, and there's also some, some concerning news of damage. Damaging storms working their way through Richland County. We do have sirens going off reportedly in the Pelican area and Fergus Falls area. The storm is blowing out of that area and heading toward the big lake. There's a 1-inch hail tag or indicator on this cell that's moving near Ottertail Lake in Maine right now. Let's see if I can get this turned off. There we go. So if I go ahead and take a look at the loop, you'll be able to see here where the lake is. So let me set that up. Here we go. So Ottertail Lake right here. Battle Lake down here. Very gusty wind heading right to the west edge of the lake now. It's heading up towards Rush Lake. It's heading up towards the Perham area and New York Mills. You are all in the severe thunderstorm warning in these areas. Gusty wind is going to be the main threat. It could reach 70 miles per hour or over. We have damage reports in Wahpeton, Breckenridge, damage reports of trees down in southern Richland County, damage reports in northern South Dakota in Clare City with windows blown out of buildings. And this is heading through Alexandria as well. So that's what I have right now. Let me continue down my funnel cloud south of Pelican Rapids. Thank you for your report, Jen. I appreciate that. Started thundering Pelican. Okay. Looks like we got a brand new warning to update you about. Grant County. Yeah, we'll get to that here in just a moment. So I've got a lot of your comments here that I'm going through. So pardon me. Perkins Highway Patrol. Okay. Sarah is sharing that the Highway Patrol office is designated and Walmart as a shelter if you can get over to those places. If you are in Lakes Country and you wish to go right now, these storms are not severe warned, but we could see some gusts. And notice this edge of the storm here is severe and moving up in that general direction. Here's Detroit Lakes, kind of converging on your area. You do have some time. Gusty wind at least over 40 miles per hour in places and as high as 70 miles per hour through Ottertail County appear to be likely. There's so many people out there. I would hedge on the side of caution with regards to these storms and get out of things like tents. Right now, no severe thunderstorm warning for Sioux Pass. Look what's heading into Pelican Rapids. I'm getting an unconfirmed report of a funnel cloud in that area. Tree damage, Clare City. Thank you. Sirens going off in Pelican Rapids. Multiple reports of that. Trying to get down to more recent stuff. Electric. Indeed, it's electric. Will it hit Bagley and Bemidji? If it does, it will be much later. We do have, a warning now for Thief River. Okay, so if you're in Thief River and southern Marshall County, Minnesota, near Grigla and points south, there's a severe thunderstorm warning. This warning is for quarter-size hail and 60-mile-per-hour gusts. It expires in 45 minutes. Remember I said we can't keep it out of the question that a thunderstorm could become severe up in that area. The National Weather Service text, what they know, says this. Storm is basically moving east at 30 miles per hour. It's 13 miles west of Thief River Falls. It's moving east. It's going to be very close to you. The warning is in effect until 2:45. 60-mile-per-hour winds from this storm. Is it hitting Thief River Falls? Here's the latest scan. It is really just on the north side of town, and it's probably looking ugly right at the camera here. And again, I'm going to take a look at velocity in the storm here just for giggles to see. I'm not seeing anything too awful concerning with regards to that. Maybe right here where the 1-inch tag is, or the 1-inch hail tag is. The brunt of this storm is between Holt and Thief River. Thief River's in the warning. Goodrich is in the warning. And this storm is mainly going to be capable of some 1-inch hail and some gusts to 60 mile per hour winds. So if you're in the path of this storm, seek shelter. Where is it moving? How fast is it? East at 30, I believe is what I said. So now we'll time this out and move this over here. So severe thunderstorm warning for Thief River and your general vicinity. It's moving in the general direction of Grigla at 30 miles per hour. So if you are in Grigla and if you are in, Carmel, about 45 minutes away at its current rate of movement, it is scraping Thief River Falls. And for the southern part of this particular storm, let's time that out down here. This would be near the Goodrich area. 30 to 35 miles per hour. We'll put this in the Mavie area in 15 minutes and Goodrich 25 minutes from now. This is what this particular storm looks like. What does it look like? I can show you because I know there's a DOT camera on the north side of Thief River, and I'll take you there right now. So here is that camera, and we're going to go up to Thief River Falls, and we're going to pop a look, and we're going to take a peek at what this storm looks like. It's wet. Yeah, that's the raindrops. Very heavy rain. Standing water in fields from this rain thunderstorm. This is just north of Thief River where this camera is located, and this is where the heaviest of the rain is. I don't see piles of hail sitting next to the roadside. That's kind of a good sign, right? But we definitely have some very heavy rain making its way through with that particular storm at the camera location there. Looking at it from Goodrich, as we get you in just a little closer, it's heading in the direction of Goodrich. Let's see if I can take a look at that. Thanks, Sean. I really appreciate you. Old neighbor, and I say that in a lovingly way. Yeah, old neighbor, not in age, but, well, yes. Appreciate you very much. Thank you. All right, so storms from Goodrich, we can't really see them. Looking at them from the other side here from Brooks, let's look at them from the south and see if we can see anything. Dark skies, and that's about it. Just a little hard to see much from that storm, but we tried, didn't we? Storms moving towards Grigla, hail and gusty winds, upwards of 60 miles per hour, and that's outside of the area where we expect the brunt of severe storms. That's heading into Marshall County, Minnesota. Here's the radar on that. All right. Ryan says lights flickering in South Moorhead. I just had that here. So hopefully we're still live and hopefully everything is still broadcasting well because it looks like it to me. Drop me a note if you, or a thumbs up, and let me know if you're still seeing Hutch's weather right here, because if my power dropped out, I might have to wait for my power supply to take over. Okay, we do have a lot of reports of gusty winds. Damage reported here. Let's see what this damage report is near Morris. Oops. What is that? See this little symbol here? Chocayo. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'm very sorry. A few tree branches 4 inches in diameter blown over by the emergency manager. Thank you very much. Michelle, thank you so very much for your support. It's much appreciated. And now let's take a look. That storm moving south of Morris has a little bit of hail moving into Benson, by the way. So if you're in Benson, been there for hockey a few times with the kids back in the day. Always fun to play hockey across greater Minnesota, right? Look at all these little damage reports, these little fix-it guys showing up on here. There's a lot of them out there. Thank you very much for watching. Let's see. Okay, so this storm here is getting a little bit stronger. Moving through Clay County, heading toward the Highway 10 corridor. And you folks in Sioux Pass Ranch, you folks in Lakes Country, including the Cormorant Chains here, Lake Eunice, basically all of these lakes, Melissa, Dead Lake, south of the DL area. These are some very windy storms. Dawn, thank you. It says Chocayo, is that right? Chocayo or Choquillo? I see a Y there, so I'm practicing my phonetics. Fun with phonetics. Dawn, I appreciate you trying to help Hutch along here. Looks like a wind just picked up in Crystal Lake. Thank you for your report. Again, if you are in Lakes Country right now, including those of you at Sioux Pass Ranch, a very windy line of storms, very wet, not huge hail producers right now, but these are heading in your general direction right now. Holly, a pretty healthy cell, is heading up towards you. Someone was asking about Glendon. The storm front, the strongest storm has passed to your south, right through Downer, heading in towards Holly. The Rolog area, all of these areas here are going to be in the path of this strong and windy line of storms. Thanks all for all of your support of stars. You are the goodest. I don't care what anybody else says about you. So why would we care what anybody else says? Okay, thanks so much, Sean. Okay, so Pelican Rapids, I know sirens were sounding there earlier. If you have reports for me, let me know. We are also concerned about all of those folks out there at the Maplewood State Park area out here. Those winds are just going to be picking up now. They will likely be from the southwest as this storm works its way through. Very gusty straight line winds. There is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for much of that area. I'm going to turn the watch off now so we can see and better see the warning areas. So please bear with me while I do a little fidgeting on my hardware. Let's see, boom and boom. Okay. All right. Now the watch is gone. Now you can see the warned areas. Fergus Falls, most of Otter Tail County. It does include Wahpeton, Breckenridge. Getting branches down in Pelican, nothing too big yet. Thank you, Jen. Pelican Rapids, just very windy, listening. Thunder, heavy rain. No more sirens. Caleb, thank you. The wind picking up immensely in Pelican. So sometimes, even though the storm is through a particular area, it's looking like it's just kind of moving in, actually. So Pelican Rapids will zoom in so you can see. Here it is. So even though the rain is here, sometimes the wind doesn't pick up until the backside. That's where the rain is just dragging it down and then it blows out. So sometimes you get it on the front leading edge. Sometimes it's after the storm is where that downward velocity kind of comes in. Ryan, anyone seeing anything? Well, I am wondering. Let's show you what people are seeing. I've got people that have uploaded some content to Hutch's Weather. Let's go to the photo uploads real quickly here and show you. Number one, you go to Hutch's Weather, you're going to see that I'm live streaming. You can watch me on your laptop. You can watch me wherever you are on your devices. Look at this. Let's take a look at what folks have sent up here. And this is the latest from your uploads, your coverage, and your reports. And again, if you have trees down, it's helpful to get pictures of what size diameter those are. I know I've asked for more uploads. I saw some huge trees snapped off in southern Richland County. This is a look at Camping World. Bill, thank you for your upload here. 45th and Main. Here is a look at the clouds swirling around the Breckenridge area. And again, a lot of trees. I did get some reports of trees down and a report of some damage out by the Mindak area in the area as well. So keep that in mind. Barnesville. Ooh, Jason capturing this supercell thunderstorm. This is a classic look. Do you see this dark edge? This one is attached to the parent thunderstorm. This is a Shelfie McShelferson cloud. Now, if it's a roll cloud that's detached, those sometimes hang real low and they're detached from the parent thunderstorm. And this is the thunderstorm, the big dark thing up here. Oh, that's a shelf cloud. That is a big cloud and a dark one. And it is. Oh, warning. If you are at Sioux Pass Ranch, get out of tents. Get to a sturdy structure now. Sturdy structures anywhere you can get. You do have some time. I'm going to time this out for you. I do have another photo I want to pass along before we get out. Here is a look at Fergus Falls. Maisie capturing this. Near it says Big Chief, you have permission to use 1:20 p.m. Fergus Falls. So this was a little bit ago as a storm blew through there. This is what's blowing up towards you. That is a shelf cloud. It looks like to me it's attached to the parent thunderstorm. And now we've got Alexandria. Thank you, Heather, for uploading your photos here. Look at the trees. They're bowing in the winds that are heading towards you. And that looks like a funky looking cloud up there behind those trees as well. Again, be safe if you're out shooting video. I don't want you being unsafe. Don't do it. Okay, let's go now to the storm moving into Lakes Country. A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for Sioux Pass Ranch, all of Becker County, Hubbard County, including the Cub Scout camp. Head to Walmart, please, Sarah says. First of all, I do want to tell you this. It's irresponsible to tell people to go out in the middle of a severe thunderstorm warning, but if there's 70-mile-per-hour winds, you have time barely to get out of there and get to sturdy structure. We don't want people running through tornado warnings. That's not the case. We don't have tornado warnings, but 70-mile-per-hour winds can cause trees to fall on your car. So if it's already windy, find the sturdiest structure you can and get to the lowest floor possible. Pardon me. Lemon water there. Get to the sturdiest structure possible on the lowest floor and stay away from windows, particularly windows on the west and south side. Get down low and just batten down the hatches. A tent, a camper, not a good place to be. And in and around a lot of trees that can be felled by storm winds, you definitely don't want to be in your car around trees that fall because people lose their lives and stuff like that. I do not want to send you out if the wind is already super gusty out there. The storm is now moving into Detroit Lakes on the south side, but the main wind event, I think, is just behind it. The warning was just issued by the National Weather Service for a severe thunderstorm warning. And as I was alluding to, it is best to get to a sturdy structure. Pelican Rapids, the wind is picking up, I'm hearing from your area. Thunder and rain starting, Barb says, in Perham. Stay safe. Okay. So as a pencil draws here, I can help you get a better visual. This is the leading edge of the windy stuff right here. Okay. This is when the heavy rain and the wind will likely start. Some areas are reporting that the wind really isn't picking up until after the rain is moving through. Okay, so once that hail and rain drag down that energy on the backside of the storm. Either way, anytime between now and the end of the warning, we can get these gusty winds moving through your area. So here is the leading edge of the potential for strong winds. And that leading edge, as the crow flies, we'll measure it from Sioux Pass Ranch, is here. Sorry, I moved the whole screen. Yeah, the gusty winds are only about 7 or 8 miles away. This is moving at 40 miles per hour. The warning from the National Weather Service says considerable damage possible. You did not get a lot of time warning on this at Sioux Pass Ranch, but we've been talking about this being potentially windy in your area. Look at the huge size of this warning. Damaging straight line winds are going to be a possibility. Anywhere in Lakes Country, in northern Otter Tail, or anywhere in Becker County, get off of the water, get out of campers and tents, and seek shelter in a more sturdy structure. Hopefully you know where that is. This storm is moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. It's picking up 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and nickel hail. Wind just hitting Perham on Big Pine Lake. Ariana, thank you. Yep, wind picking up after, says Ryan. Thank you. You're in Pelican, right, Ryan? If my memory serves me correct. And, well, yeah, WeFest. It's that weekend. So let's get out there. WeFest, folks. Get out of campers and tents. Seek shelter in a sturdy area. Driving through places to get somewhere more sturdy is not a bad idea if you have time to get there. Do you know where a shelter is? I am hearing that there is some shelter there, but it's away from the campgrounds. It's at the Walmart, and I hope I'm correct there. I'm just going by some content folks are posting, and there is a shelter at the what is it? The Highway Patrol Office. Heavy rain, strong winds arriving in Hawley. South Moorhead is where Ryan is. Thank you. Okay, so let's take a look at this warned area. Let's take a look at the timing for the storms to get to different communities here. It's basically moving into the New York Mills area, moving at 50 miles per hour, folks. 50 mile per hour, Rochert, 9 minutes. Snellman, 23 minutes. It's on its way to you. Detroit Lakes, we've got cells moving into the Sioux Pass Ranch area now, but this is the main event line here. So let's go with that. Winds are picking up after the storm. So right in here, these winds, I believe, will really start picking up, moving at 50 miles per hour. It won't take long. So get out of shelters now and get to shelter. Cormorant within 4 minutes. It's over you now. Lake Eunice, okay? This is the Sioux Pass Ranch area, 9 minutes away. You don't have a lot of time. Seek shelter. Do not be next to big, tall trees, and try to do your very best to get to somewhere more safe. If you are in your car, make sure you're not near trees, because this 70 mile per hour wind is causing some significant tree damage from what I'm hearing. There is a sign on the door there at Walmart. Sarah, thank you very much. Thank you for the report. So heading to the Walmart is apparently a place where you can go to seek shelter. It's certainly a better building than being in a tent. So heading to town, you'll find some better places to seek shelter there. Hawley, you got a strong storm cell making its way right into town. There is a little bit of a hail cell with that one. Nickel-sized hail possible. That's moving between you and Lake Park right now over Highway 10. Right, probably at that Highway 9. Is it Highway 32 exit, right, as you go north or south. So keep that in mind. White Earth, we got some showers and storms moving towards you. You are in the warning, as is Mahnomen County on the south and east side. So from Mahnomen to Natawash, it looks like you guys are kind of in that warning as well. Sorry, I apologize. I'm trying to move this around. So yeah, Natawash is in the warning. Elbow Lake. This Elbow Lake is in the warned area near White Earth. White Earth, you're in the warning. All of these areas. And I did mention the Cub Scout camp. This whole line of storms is working its way towards here. And this area right up here on 71, north of the Park Rapids area, as we come up here into not Potato Lake, but a little bit farther, Emmaville. Here we go. This area right here, Mantrap Lake. So if we take a look at the Emmaville area, you are in the warning. Cub Scout camp, if you're out there, there's some severe storms. They are ways away, and you have plenty of time to take appropriate precautions. Will they still be severe by the time they get to you? That's tough to say. 47 miles away, though, and they're moving at 50 miles an hour. That's about an hour away. So if you are in central Hubbard County, where my hand is here, you have time to prepare. If you are in northern Becker County near Height of Land Lake, you have time to prepare. It's 20 miles away from you, and that means you have about 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Sarah says, we were caught in a storm tenting at Lions Campground in DL a couple years ago, and she is advising that you can go to the Walmart there and seek shelter from the storm. So that's good to know. I mean, you got to know if you're camping where you can go to stay safe. That's just a lesson. It does look like we do have this line of storms that's blasting towards Wadena now. Boy, have these accelerated quickly. Now, the hail is not the main threat, but look at the winds, how fast they've moved in just a couple of scans. I think this is new storms forming. Look at this. They're ending here and they're developing here just along the leading edge. So yeah, this convective complex is something else. I'll continue to look. Let me see if I've got more content uploaded from you on hutchesweather.com, because I sure appreciate each one of you sharing with me what you're seeing across the area. Here's a picture that's just been updated, and I will put this out there so more can see. Oh yeah, this is in the FM area. Some modest clouds are starting to show up. We're getting all kinds of great images here. Please take a moment, look, upload yours when it's safe to do so. If you have hail, damage to trees. The kind of information we want is the hail diameter of the largest stones you see, and also the diameter of the tree branches that have fallen. Jen says wind stopped completely in the Pelican area. That's good to know. Sometimes you're in the middle of the storm. Let's see what's going on here. Yeah. Okay, so you're on the backside of the storm there in Pelican. And if you are out at the Maplewood Lake State Park area, there's still storminess in your area. I'm going to take a look at the velocities in the storm, radial velocities. And we are still seeing some wind in and around Pelican Rapids with regards to this storm. But I want to look at the radar from here in Aberdeen. Above you, there's still some very windy stuff going on. Okay, so where you see these yellow colors, the wind is blowing away from Aberdeen pretty briskly. How briskly? And again, this is off the ground, but this is 50, 60 mile per hour winds still. So even after the storm moves through, we could still have some gusty winds. Thanks so much. It's in Perham now, 219. Thank you, Heidi. Appreciate you for your updates with regard to these storms. The Fargo area is seeing storms move through. It's getting a lot quieter out here in South Moorhead. I do know that. Our temperature has fallen from heat to low 70s right now. I do know that at the Hector International Airport. And at Moorhead's Airport, we have a temperature of 68 is great. Look at that. These storms moving into Lake Park now. Severe thunderstorm warning, Detroit Lakes. We have the storms pushing in. These are really moving at a fast pace right now. 50 miles per hour. They're moving in this general northeasterly direction, heading in the general direction of Hubbard County in the next hour. They are almost through southern parts of Otter Tail County and are now moving to the Highway 10 corridor of Otter Tail County. Thanks so very much, Christina. Good to see you from Fertile. I'm glad to see you here. Thank you so very much for joining. Let's take a look at what we have going on down south. A stronger cluster of storms looks to have separated from that main line a little bit right over Morris. This is a severe thunderstorm warning for this particular cell, capable of 60 mile per hour winds and, well, 3/4 inch diameter hail from that particular cell. So mainly wind has become our main threat today, heading into the afternoon hours. Severe thunderstorm warning in and around Grigla. Let's take a look at the latest here. I'm going to get a closer radar view. 1-inch diameter hail and 60 mile per hour winds. And we got a little, that looks like a hook echo right there. So when you see a thunderstorm and you see this little finger dangly thing that has a hook shape to it, that's called a hook echo. Sometimes hook echoes can indicate where there's spin in a storm. So Hutch is going to look at the spin. I'm not seeing much there. This is a long ways from the radar. Oh, there's a tiny little bit there. See, zoom in. See the green next to the red. Very hard for a radar from this distance to detect tight spin in a cloud, but there is a little bit there. Let's look at a higher level scan. Gone. So this would be even higher up in the cloud. And now let's look at the storm relative velocity. Yeah, there is some spin showing up there with this storm in very similar areas to where we're seeing that little hook shape. This is a strong storm. It does have some weak spin with it. It's out of Thief River. Your risk is done with this storm. It's heading towards Grigla. This one's moving at a slower clip. Latest measurement is about 15 miles per hour. The core of this storm that has some spin to it is making its way to the east. We're going to put it at 20 miles per hour. Heading in the general direction of Grigla. This part of the storm is going to get to you first. The rain and the hail, that looks to pass just north of you. This rotating part of the storm could be moving in your direction, but it's moving slow enough where it might be 45 minutes or more before it gets to you. It's now 2:22 on the latest on the clock. Winds picking up in Wadena. Right over Dad's, says Sarah. All right, here we go. Let's go to what's going on in Lakes Country. Severe thunderstorms, a whole long line of them in a cluster that is starting to lose some of its organization here. You see how it's just becoming this lighter yellow shade. Heavy rain, still heavy winds in these areas possible. but we're seeing a lot less of the deep reds. So that's a good sign. But that's still very, very windy. Wind had sudden pause on Big Pine Lake in Perham, pouring rain and heavy winds after the brief pause. So yeah, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? Thanks, Ariana, for your report there. In Sioux Pass Ranch, there is a severe thunderstorm warning, and the main part of this storm is coming at you now. So just passing through the south side of Detroit Lakes on that Highway 10 corridor there, moving on off through Frazee area. Those storms heading along the Highway 34 corridor to the north and east of Detroit Lakes, heading towards the Height of Land Lake area soon. Okay, so if you're in Height of Land Lake, Pine Point, these areas are going to see a very windy line of storms make their way in. We're going to have different periods of wind in and around Lake Eunice and the Sioux Pass Ranch area. So as you go south of Detroit Lakes, here's Lake Sally, here's Pearl Lake. All of these folks are really seeing some very, very strong thunderstorm winds right now and very heavy rain. So there is a warning out, and the warning is for considerable damage potential. Here's Cormorant. You too are in this as well. So seeking shelter, not in campers, not in cabins, because even after this main red area moves through, the winds are going to continue, and they could gust as high as 70 miles per hour. That's what the warning says. So with regards to Wadena and Wadena County, you are in the warning, and there's this leading edge moving right into Wadena, Staples area. Staples right over my shoulder. So those areas are likely to see some gusty winds, and some winds could be as high as 60 to 70 miles per hour. Let me see what the city said. The National Weather Service in Minneapolis issues warnings for Todd County here in Staples, Motley area. 60 mile per hour gusts expected from those. I'd say there is a general trend towards some weakening of these cells, but look, now we're looking at a different radar here. Let me see which one I'm on. Yeah, this is the Minneapolis radar. It's taking over, showing a little bit better detail here. Wadena, south through Parker's Prairie, heading into Staples, Browerville, Long Prairie, all of these areas. Strong thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms working their way through, mainly gusty straight line winds. These winds will be moving from west to east. A storm with the strongest hail potential now moving south of the Glenwood area. This one could be 1 to maybe 1.5 inch diameter hail just outside of Benson. If you're in the Bruton area as well as Belgrade, be ready for some significant wind, upwards of 60 miles per hour, and some large hail in that area. That's heading toward the Wilmer area, but mainly north for areas just north of Wilmer, keeping you posted on all of that. So starting to get some information. I'm going to look at your reports here. Heidi, thank you. Heidi, I have a message for you returning. Thank you for your content. Okay, Derek says 1 3/4 inches in Carrington this morning. Thank you so very, very much. I really do appreciate that. We had some severe weather make its way through the Devil's Lake area, and those passed through this morning. Continued warnings down in the southern part of our viewing area heading into central Minnesota now. And we do have 1 severe thunderstorm warning near Grigla, Minnesota. That's in Marshall County, Minnesota. This has just exited Thief River Falls. You are outside of that warned area. Now I'm going to look for your no power south of Detroit Lakes, says Wendy. Has that been for long, or is that just a short power problem? Let me check the power stuff. We can do that with Hutch's weather. Let's do that right now. Okay, so let's look for power outages, Minnesota. Here we go. There are some customers without power. Look at this. It's tracking Marshall County, Minnesota, about 127 people without power, possibly from that storm that's working its way through eastern Marshall County, Minnesota. And we have a few possibly without power in and around Pennington County. It does look like Otter Tail County has 2,200 people without power, and also 2,400 people without power in Douglas County in and around Alexandria. That's what I'm seeing so far. Becker County, I'm not seeing a report yet, but that does not mean that that it's not without power. That's just hasn't updated on this particular site yet. So that's a look at power outages from these storms. Thank you for sharing your report, Wendy. Again, you guys help make Hutch's Weather by sharing your reports. So far, Lake Region Electric says there's 12 outages, 800 customers affected. Okay, good to know. Thank you, Brittany. I do appreciate that. And okay, let's take a look now at your reports here. National Weather Service. Huge thunderstorm warning for most of west central Minnesota. Gusty winds to 70 remain possible. Storm line is moving to the northeast and east at 50 miles per hour. That's the latest from the National Weather Service. Let's see if there's any more reports. Okay, I don't. Now let me see if I have any more uploads. I do. Got to watch the video real quick here, so bear with me while I just double check. Very heavy rain. Very good. Thank you. Okay, so we got a report from Ada. You can see that on hutchesweather.com. And again, I have thrown out the note out there to a bunch of you that I'd really love to have you upload your content to hutchesweather.com, particularly if you have damage or if there's damage in your area that you see. Tree diameter is helpful to know. Largest hailstone, also very helpful to know. And if you happen to be out at Sioux Pass Ranch, even though the heaviest of the rain and thunderstorm, whoops, I got to get the radar behind me here before I start pointing. Even though the heaviest of the rain and the thunderstorm has moved and is moving through this Lake Eunice area and toward Detroit Lakes and out on Highway 10 and east of there towards Height of Land Lake, these storms have a lot of wind on the backside of them as well. So remain in your shelter. Severe thunderstorm is going to rapidly push into Hubbard County and eastern and northern parts of Becker County as we go through the next little bit here. And if you are in Wadena County, the windy thunderstorms are heading in your general direction and exiting through Alexandria as well. There were sirens reported in Pelican Rapids. A couple funnel clouds reported, but not confirmed with me. I haven't seen any evidence of it, but I've heard evidence of it. Funnel cloud reported elsewhere out towards the Wahpeton, Breckenridge area earlier as well. Some damage reported not far from there at the Mindak site. So we're watching that. There is some hail starting to build up and pulse up in this storm that's moving off to the east of Frazee right now. That's heading off into Lakes Country there towards Evergreen. New York Mills, gusty winds. Bluffton, gusty winds. And some of the heat and humidity of the day. The heat will go. The humidity looks like it's going to stay for a bit as we head into the afternoon. Looking at other measurements around the area, just check this out. Sunshine, hot 82, and dew point still near 70 up there in the Rock Lake area. So one moment here. I'm actually going to take a call. This is important. It's a weather-related. Okay, so, more reports coming in, and I do appreciate that. So I'm just trying to get all the information in and keep you abreast of the latest. Again, severe thunderstorm warning up near Thief River Falls. This storm cluster is expanding just a bit. Look at this, northern Clearwater County, a couple. This one capable of 60 mile per hour winds and hail up to 1 inch in diameter. A little bit of weak rotation on that as it moves into the Grigla area now. So it's slower moving storm. It's only moving at about 15 miles per hour. It's still a ways away from Grigla. If you have a report, please pass that along to me here at Hutch's Weather, hutchesweather.com. I-94 eastbound. Okay, let's see here. Can't see, pulling a trailer, Donna says, on I-94 near Rothsay. So yeah, torrential rains, hard to see, and gusty winds will likely be heading through that area of the I-94 corridor and out now. So we got heavy rain down here between Rothsay. That looks like it's passing through and exiting that area. That update was just now 2:30. Thanks, Donna. Appreciate you sharing your report as well. So, lakes country, severe thunderstorm warnings. And if you're anywhere near a lake, if you're in a camper, if you are in a tent, if you're in anything like that, get out and seek shelter in a more sturdy structure. These thunderstorms have the capability of some very gusty straight line winds. I have picked up a number of damage reports. I have not seen picture evidence of it just yet. Pouring rain on Big Cormorant. Thank you. Lightning slowing down, and so pictures coming. Okay, thank you, Jen. I appreciate you so very much. Yes, wait till it's safe to do so. Yes, check hutchesweather.com for the latest, and you could do so just like this. How about the Bagley Fair? Wendell, that's a great question. What we're seeing moving in the general direction of Bagley, there is a warning for you guys. You're on the leading edge of this, on the northern edge. So you see where Bagley is? It's right on the edge of the warning there. Highway 2, right through central Clearwater County. That's Bagley, right? Oh, yep, you're in the warning. These storms are not too far from you. Let's get you some information. First, let's let Hutch take a look at the loop so I could see the direct movement of these cells that are moving in your direction. They're building up toward the north. Yes, they're moving towards you. Okay. The individual cells that are moving towards you have a speed of about 18 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour. These cells down south are moving at 50 miles per hour, but these one up here moving just a little bit slower. I'm going to go with an average of these cells. So between 15 and 33, we're going to put that at 25 miles per hour. So here's what you need to know. If you are in Bagley, there is a line of severe thunderstorms capable of gusty straight line winds. They're 22 miles away, and they're moving at about, 25 to 30 miles per hour, a little less than an hour away. It could be even a little faster if they end up speeding up like some of these other cells. So let's get you the latest from the core of the storm. Yeah, whoops, pardon me. I'm going to use 35 miles per hour, enhance the speed just a bit. Oopsies. I must have been on the wrong part of the storm. Here we go. Thanks for bearing with me. It's been a long cut-in or update. So let's go ahead and go 35 miles per hour. Nadawash, it's going to be over you shortly, about 4 minutes away. In fact, it's raining dogs and frogs in Nadawash. McCants, 9 minutes. Roy Lake, 13 minutes. Bagley, 38 minutes away. So as we just get past the 3 o'clock time frame, that's when the core of the storm will be there. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock to Bagley. And that's for you folks enjoying the fair there. Bagley Fair. So Wendell, Clemma, I hope that helps answer your question. Large elm tree down in Fergus. Okay. Thank you very, very much, Brittany. I appreciate that. So we have some tree damage reported in Fergus Falls. Let's see if we got any others. I'll have to go to another Facebook page so I can see people tagging me in some content here. Okay. Okay. So thank you. I do see that there are some photos of large trees down in Fergus Falls and amongst other places in Richland County. I'm kind of perusing the internet on those. So yes, we do have some trees down. Let's take a look at the latest with regards to the storm system. If you are in Fergus Falls, we still have thunderstorm activity, but the warning has expired for your area. They've trimmed it off right up to the edge of the big lake. So as we look in on the lake, we do have a damage report here. It looks like right on the edge of Ottertail Lake. Let's see, 6 miles east of Phelps. Estimated 80 mile per hour wind at the leading edge of the storm. Boat canopies destroyed. 30-foot trees snapped at the base and fallen. Deck furniture thrown. Numerous other branches and limbs down. This is in Phelps. This is on the west side of the lake. 80 mile per hour estimated wind speed with the damage created there. If I loop the radar data, you can actually watch the storm blow through. That was likely right there as the leading edge moved through. And that is on Big Ottertail Lake. So terrible winds doing damage on Ottertail Lake. Those are heading into and through most of Becker County right now. So they're in northern Becker County, moving into Wadena County. Sabika, you're in the path of these storms. In Detroit Lakes, we got a little more lightning starting to pick up and enhance in this area. So Sioux Pass Ranch, folks, the threat is not over there. You're still in a severe thunderstorm warning. This warning does last for the next 20 minutes. The thunderstorms are moving north at an enhanced speed of about 50 miles per hour. So even if they think of burping out some wind, we're going to get some areas with local gusts over 70 miles per hour. Estimated wind gusts upwards of 80 miles per hour. And what's going on here on the backside? I'm getting more lightning. Yeah, that's going on out by Detroit Lakes. White Earth, you've got storms moving to the Highway 51 corridor right now. White Earth being right behind Hutch's little sign here. So there we have a look at what's going on. And again, now there's some development out in South Dakota. This is going to be the main event for tonight. These are going to be moving their way through eastern South Dakota tonight, the way the models look. So let me do a quick weather update in just a moment. The forecast for the night is going to be these storms will continue to move off to the east, and then later tonight, these storms down in South Dakota take over, and we'll have another round for them. That's what the forecast was. I did an update on that moments ago. So for now, severe thunderstorm warning continues for Detroit Lakes, and you folks at Sioux Pass Ranch at the Wee Fest area. If you are in Monoman County, particularly near White Earth, from White Earth on up to Natawash, severe storms are pushing into southern Clearwater County now, but do you see the movement of this storm to the north? That's heading towards Bagley. So if you are in the general direction of the Bagley area fair taking place, you'll want to be prepared for a storm to be there just after 3 o'clock. We time that out. That's less than 20 minutes away. If you happen to be in and around Park Rapids, these storms are moving in your general direction. The gusty straight line winds that did cause damage as they blew through Ottertail area are moving in your general direction at 50 miles per hour. That will put them in Park Rapids in 18 minutes. Dorset by 24 minutes. Emmaville, 29 minutes away. If you're in Emmaville, that is close to where the Cub Scout camp is there. And we want to make sure you folks have a little bit of an idea. Within about 20 minutes or so, if that storm maintains its strength, will be in your area. And that puts it as we clock that out closer to the, well, just after 3 p.m. time frame. So again, Emmaville and the Bagley area, about 3 o'clock or just shortly after. Okay, thank you so very much. We do have strong storms developing down out to the west of Aberdeen. Once again, another line starting to form. Let's take a quick look at the model guidance. I'm going to do that real quick, and then I am going to take a break and get my information gathered right back up. Let's take a look here now at what we have going on with regards to the forecast model on the latest model run. I'm going to put this up on model guidance so you can see the clock. I need to turn off some of the warning areas now so it's not confusing. And I'm also going to turn off the storm reports right now. So those which are becoming increasingly widespread with the wind damage from these storms, this is what we're looking at. Storms now. As we cross the 2 o'clock hour into the 3 o'clock hour, we'll continue exiting. More are expected to fire according to this model here, but we're seeing them farther out to the west. So those storms will fester mainly south of us. We do have a chance for some storms up north tonight. The risk of severe up there is lower, so it's not as high a likelihood of severe storms there. But we can't rule it out. They will flirt with severe criteria. 1-inch hail, gusts to around 55 or 60 miles per hour. The main event tonight will be in the eastern half or third of South Dakota and into parts of Southern Lakes country once again as we go through the early evening and overnight hours, then late night hours in southern Minnesota with Boeing line segments, Sioux Falls and southern Minnesota in the path of those potential storms. That's a quick forecast update. I am meteorologist Hutch Johnson. You can always get the latest by following Hutch on these platforms right here. You can scan these with your camera. You can pause the video later and scan those. But otherwise, I'd love to have you upload your reports of weather, pictures when it's safe to do so, please, and content. I will be back with updates throughout the day. You are watching Hutch's Weather. Thanks so much for your reports. Thanks for participating. And I will check back in a little bit later. But until next time, stay tuned and please stay safe.